tell me, Batman Year One is a really popular book with a lot of fans of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
How closely did you stick to the book in making this? I mean, is this pretty much just an animated depiction of that story?
It pretty much is. In this case, which is a little bit rare, we were actually a little bit short. And that's the reason why we had to put in that Catwoman short, is because we were short. And we did pretty much everything that was in the book already, and we were still short. Because even though it's, to me it seems like it's a long story, but when we actually translated it, it came out to be about 10 to 15 minutes short. And so there was a couple of things that we had, I think the writer had taken out, but we ended up adding them, and we were still short. I think that gained us maybe 4 to 5 minutes. It was the Harvey Dent scene. Originally, that wasn't in the movie, but now it was in the movie because we were short. And so, given that, I remember we had a meeting, and Bruce, we were just like, "Do we just start padding it? Are there things that we should just sort of stick in?" And Bruce was very adamant about not being absolutely faithful, so we didn't deviate at all from it.
This, I believe, is the first time Ben McKenzie's voicing Bruce Wayne. What did you see in him that you thought he would make a good Bruce Wayne? I know he kind of plays a brooding character on the OC in Southland, but it seems like a really good choice.
Yeah, it's interesting with stunt casting because a lot of times, we use people that we think, maybe they don't have a lot of experience in the voice recording work, but it just seems like they have some kind of quality or texture to their voice, and. Ben McKenzie was one of those guys, and it was so funny because he seemed a little nervous in the beginning, but he started to loosen up, towards the end. But yeah, I mean, he was great.
Can you tell us about some of the other cast members you have voicing these iconic, pages out of this book? Because I mean, you have voices in your head, like the fans know what they sound like, but that must be a challenge to bring people in to sort of, hit the fans' expectations.
Yeah. To me, one of the big ones was Bryan Cranston. Me personally, I wasn't thinking of his name, but when his name came up, I think for all of us, we all just sort of agreed, wow, we never thought about that, but he would be a perfect Gordon. Yeah, and when he came in too, we all were just like, oh, he's perfect for it. The other really surprising one to me was Katie Sackhoff. She's got such a great texture to her voice, and so when she plays Essen, it's all the sort of emotional range and all the sort of there's a little bit of grit in her voice, and it just really makes the scene.
Can you tell us a little bit about the exclusive Catwoman short that you added on because of the time crunch? I mean, what is the story of the Catwoman short?
Oh, the short kind of came about because, again, we were being very faithful to the source material, and there just wasn't enough. And so it was a thing where we were, again, deciding if do we pad, do we add, and Bruce didn't want that, and so Paul Dini actually, during the shorts process, had a script about a Catwoman, and so we were just like, oh, why don't we use that, but try to put it into the universe because it had the story. Well, I don't want to be too much of a spoiler, and just edit this out if it is, but it had Holly in it, and so we're just like, oh, that makes perfect sense. It's almost like a story that happens maybe a couple of years after Year One had happened.
Yeah, but it seems like these movies have had shorts on all of them. Am I wrong about that? So it seems like even though you had to pad with it, you wouldn't have had a short if it had been longer in length?
No, but actually the shorts experiment, if you will, sort of ended.
Okay.
Yeah, because the shorts was a thing that we just wanted to sort of try out, just so we can, tell stories of, B-list, C-list characters. And so that was only slated to be 6. And so during that process, we had a bunch of scripts with a bunch of different characters, and we just sort of picked the best ones, I think the Catwoman one was one that we had intended to do, but just because of sales and stuff like that, it didn't sort of make a lot of sense. But luckily, again, because it was Catwoman, and it did seem like it would potentially fit into the universe, so we just ended up using that.
It seems like the shorts allow you to bring in some more lesser-known characters like Firestorm or, Red Tornado. Are they going to have a chance to have a showcase when they may not necessarily be, worthy of a feature length?
Again, that was the intent of the shorts, but like most things, it's it is all sort of precedent upon if it sells well, if it makes money for them, because in part also it's sort of like when you make a short, you just kind of see like, are fans going to like it? Are people going to want to buy like a Firestorm story? Are they going to want to buy like a Jonah Hex story? You know, and unfortunately, the sales of it didn't do as well as I guess the money people had liked. So it, for now, anyways, you know, who knows what's going to happen in the future? You know, but for now, anyways, it's a little bit on hold.
What's the next one after this that you guys are working on? Can you not talk about that?
Yeah, I'm not allowed.
Yeah, I didn't think. I wasn't sure. I was almost not going to ask that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Again, home video is very sort of strategic about when they release information and stuff like that. So we're.
What can you at least tell us? Is it another one like Batman Year One, where the fans have been waiting for this for a long time, and it's almost on that level of anticipation?
Because I've moved on to series work, and so I haven't really been with the DTV department, so I'm not exactly sure what their future plans are. Yeah.